I move on. I give floor to the distinguished representative of Norway. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to start by congratulating you and your co-chair on your election. It is now almost 10 years after the adoption of the Hyogo Framework for Action. As the various discussions on the post-2015 development agenda is coming to a conclusion, this is an opportune time to take stock and set the direction for an ambitious disaster risk reduction agenda for the post-2015 period. Looking back at the implementation of the HFA since 2005, there's been considerable progress. Yet, as numerous disasters in recent years have shown, we still have a way to go to make all societies safe from the threat represented by disasters. As we set out to elaborate a new global action plan for disaster risk, we would like to emphasize the following. First of all, Norway believes that the HFA2 should be a simple and operational framework that can guide member states in implementing a hands-on approach to DRR. The framework should include measurable goals and concrete targets over an agreed time span and build on lessons from the last decade on implementing the HFA. In order to track the progress in reaching vulnerable groups, we also need indicators that are disaggregated at the level where at least age, gender, and disability can be measured. To the extent possible, the new framework should be aligned with the outcome of the SDGs and climate change processes, for example, through a coherent system for monitoring and evaluation. The HFA2 should promote the inclusion of DRR as an integral part of public policy and the development agenda. DRR should be reflected in the work of all ministries and equally important in all local planning processes. The focus of the post-2015 DRR framework should be to reduce existing risk and avoid building new risk. In order to achieve this, Norway believes 3 efforts in particular should be prioritized. Firstly, decision-making needs to be risk-informed. Every day, millions of decisions are made that will affect future risk in a local community, by governments, private businesses, and by individuals. There is a need for scientific as well as local and traditional knowledge to be made available in a comprehensive way for all these decision makers. This includes in situ Earth observations, comprehensive all-risk assessments at the local level, as well as knowledge on climate change. The Global Framework for Climate Services is an example of a useful tool to promote the use of reliable climate and weather information and translating it into adapted end-user information. This comprehensive knowledge on risk should also form the basis for pricing it. This will allow insurance companies to guide decisions, and private and public actors will be given financial incentive to choose safer solutions. Secondly, a culture of safety must be built in the society as a whole. The Elements paper indicates a number of important arenas. We would like to highlight the importance of education as a key arena for ensuring integration of DRR in future decision-making. In this context, I would like to refer to the suggestion made by the Global Alliance for Disaster Risk Reduction and Resilience in the education sector, namely that DRR should include safe learning facilities, school disaster management, and risk reduction and resilience education as an integral part of the curriculum. Finally, as we know, certain groups are disproportionately impacted by disaster. These include persons with disabilities, children, the elderly, displaced persons, migrants, the economically poor, and, in many societies, women and ethnic minorities. It is therefore essential that DRR strategies in general and the HFA2 process in particular gives sufficient attention to the particular needs and vulnerabilities of these groups, and that all these groups are actively consulted. Thank you.
I thank you, distinguished representative of Norway.